What up YouTube, this is EKOREVIEWS and tonight I'm going to review the 5th Game of Thrones episode. Tonight's episode was a bit of a mind blower and I've got a lot to cover, so let's dive right into it. So we start in Castle Black where Sansa is rocking the red hair again. I always liked her as a soulless ginger. Well, maybe she has 80% of a soul. That's generous of me, be happy you have that, take it or leave it. Littlefinger visits her and Brienne to offer his help in them fighting the Boltons, and Sansa just drives him into the ground. She chastises him for apparently being aware of what Ramsay is like and how he treated Sansa. And Littlefinger just stands there and takes it like the little snake he is. Until he says he's sorry. Anything that comes out of his mouth is a lie, that's a fact. At this point, Sansa is a way better player of the Game of Thrones than Peter Baelish will ever be. It's awesome! Peter reveals to her that her great uncle, the Blackfish, has taken back Riverrun. Yes, the Blackfish is alive, I always liked him. Dude was boss in season 3. Before Littlefinger leaves, he reminds Sansa that Jon is only her half-brother, for some reason. Might as well made the 7 snap as he walked out of the door, cause dude can make an exit. In Bravos, Arya is still training to be a faceless man. She and the wife are fighting, and of course the wife is still kicking her butt. Seriously, is this training ever gonna end? Are we ever gonna see Arya actually kill people? I mean, come on, Arya is still determined to fight. Arya wants to fight the wife again, but the wife just drops the mic, her staff. They both end up dropping their staffs and fighting hand-to-hand combat until Jaqen H'ghar comes in, breaks up the fight, and still tells Arya she's not ready. This isn't training. This is just filler until the White Walkers, the dragons, and the badass fights show up. This is exactly what season 5 was all about until the finale, where things actually mattered, but before that, nothing happened. Filler does not make good conflict. Filler does not make a good episode. The only time that it's really necessary to add filler is when you're building up to something grand. The only grand thing season 6 has to offer is the Bastard Bowl between Jon and Ramsay. Granted, that will be the fight of the century, but Arya won't even be there to see it. Her filler is just dragging out her development of becoming an assassin. I digress. Jaqen gives her a little backstory on the origin of the Faceless Men. More filler. Jeez. I should really get that cough checked out. Jaqen gives her a task to kill a theater performer. Wait, she's been given something to do? Arya has a plot again? Arya finds herself at a theater performance where they're pretty much satiring the entirety of the first few seasons of the show. Granted, it was a pretty funny scene. I swear I thought I was watching Monty Python for a second. The last thing Arya sees is them making fun of Tyrion and Sansa's wedding before we go backstage. Sorry, I needed a moment. You can do this, Matt. You can do this. The actor playing Joffrey examines his nope. The actor playing Joffrey examines his penis and finds a wart. The rest of the actors are as foul as ever, but Arya finds her target drinking rum and decides to put the poison in the bottle. Cut to way up in the north where Three-Eyed Raven Rick and Bran Morty are in the past once again. Bran discovers the Children of the Forest made the White Walkers when he sees one of them shove assumably an obsidian shard into a man's chest and his eyes turn blue. The Three-Eyed Raven pulls Bran out and it turns into Fern Gully for a second. One of the children tells Bran that she blames the humans for destroying her species, pretty much acting like a total tree hugger. No, literally, she's part tree. Then it cuts to Pike. Wait, that's it? That's all we get from Bran? That was like the shortest scene in Game of Thrones history, what gives? Anyway, cut to Pike where it's Yara 2016 everywhere. The Salt Throne of the Ironborn is up for grabs and Yara makes her claim. Theon steps up to assist, looking like season 2 Theon once more. Then Euron finally comes in to mess everything up. Yara blames Euron for killing her father and he defends himself. Oh wait, he doesn't! He confesses! And claims he will go to Meereen to have sex with Dany and ally their houses. Euron gets his blessing for the drowned god, but while he's being baptized, Yara, Theon, and a whole bunch of Ironborn steal the entire Ironborn fleet. Finally, plot for the Ironborn as well. GOT is on a roll. Daenerys in the aftermath of her badassery discusses banishing or keeping Jorah once again. But Jorah reveals his grayscale to her and turns to leave. Dany, looking surprisingly distraught, demands that Jorah stay and look for a cure for his sickness. Jorah finally confesses that he loves her and she wants him by her side when she takes the Iron Throne. Friend-zoned again? I honestly don't know. In Meereen, Tyrion and Varys discuss the Sons of the Harpy, and they decide to summon the Red Priestess who's been causing trouble in Meereen to the throne room to ask for her help. During their discussion, the Red Princess claims Dany as the one who was chosen. During their discussion, the Red Priestess admits that Dany is the one who was promised. Sounds familiar. Didn't Mellie claim that Jon was the prince who was promised, and before that didn't she say Stannis was the prince who was promised? Varys drops that exact bomb on the Red Priestess, and argues the credibility of the followers of the Lord of Light. However, the Red Priestess drops a counter bomb and admits that she knows what the voice was that Varys heard when he got his parts cut off and got him thrown into the fire. Creepy. Very creepy. Varys, for the first time, looks actually very disturbed. What does this mean? Back to Bran, who's looking a little impatient because the three-eyed raven is warging without him. Bran, strictly out of curiosity, decides to go into the raven's dream and finds himself at the forest that he found himself in his first dream state. Except this time it's winter, the tree and everything around it is ruined, and there's an army of about 5 billion undead standing behind him. The Night King suddenly appears and actually notices Bran, proving that Bran can actually travel through time. The Night King tries to attack Bran, but sends him out of his dream state and puts him back in the cave with the three-eyed raven. Turns out when the Night King grabbed Bran in his dream, it actually affected him in real life because Bran finds himself marked. The three-eyed raven says the Night King knows where they are now and says that Bran must now become him, and sends him back into a warg state. Back to Castle Black, Jon is discussing the battle with the Boltons, and he knows they need Winterfell to defend themselves against the White Walkers. Sansa drops the information that she knows the Blackfish took back Riverrun, but lies about how she got the information. And then turns out Sansa wants to send Brienne on another oath-breaking adventure, and Brienne questions Sansa about why she lied about where she got the info from about the Blackfish. Before Jon leaves to seek help from the other houses, Sansa gives him a coat that's exactly like Ned Stark's to go along with his tunic that's exactly like Ned Stark's. He's not really Ned Stark's son, why are they building it up for Jon to be exactly like him? Cut immediately back to Bran's cave where he's still stuck in warg state, while Mira and Hodor are packing for them to leave before the Night King gets there. Too late! The Night King shows up all like, surprise! Cue the Walking Dead theme song as the undead army approaches the cave, and then commence the coolest thing I've ever seen on this show. You ready? The children of the forest use literal plasma grenades to fight off the undead. The Night King and his White Walker lieutenants walk straight through the fire and into the cave, while the undead have to go around the fire and up onto the top and crash to the roof of the cave. The Raven has Bran trapped in another memory of his father's childhood, acting like nothing is wrong as Hodor, Mira, and all the children of the forest fight undead that are pulling through the roof and the Night King, who is still walking into the cave. Mira helps the warging Bran into his cradle and tells him to warg into Hodor to use him. In the memory, Bran makes eye contact with Willis, aka Hodor in the past. Bran wargs into Hodor. Mira kills a White Walker with a dragonglass spear. Summer sacrifices himself to save the group. Why do the direwolves have to keep dying? The Night King approaches the three-eyed raven still stuck in his tree. The three-eyed raven says goodbye to Bran in the dream state before he disappears into this weird cloudy black substance thing and just floats away into the air. The last child of the forest also sacrifices herself by using her last plasma grenade to fight off the undead and buy them some time. Mira and Bran escape the cave while Hodor stays behind. Hodor holds the door, 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 holds door, hold door, holds door, holds door, hold door, ho door, Hodor. Roll credits.
Too long, didn't watch version!
I have no words. Game of Thrones has become my all-time favorite show. While Lost will always have a place in my heart, this show, with its pacing, the twist, the tension. Let me tell you something, that last scene had as much energy as the Red Wedding. Without the shock, without the trauma, and without the death of beloved characters. Let me rephrase that. Granted, in the Red Wedding, Catelyn didn't deserve to die. But Robb sucked. Talisa sucked. Here, we lose Summer, almost all the children of the forest, the three-eyed raven, and presumably Hodor. Whilst we get a glimpse into how Hodor became Hodor. I could swear I had a dozen theories that made much more sense to why Hodor just says Hodor, or why he's simple, or any of that. But the concept of Bran warging into Hodor, Hodor hearing Mira saying hold the door, and that affects Hodor in the past, who was formerly known as Willis. Then it becomes the only thing he can say, I'm sorry, that threw me for a loop and I love it. I did not think Bran's storyline was gonna pay off as much as that. I thought I wasn't going to care, but I do. I care more about what actually happened and what's going to happen than all the theories of Game of Thrones combined. I don't care if we don't get more flashbacks. I don't care if we don't ever see what's in the Tower of Joy. I got 10 times more pleasure from seeing the Night King finally in combat and that very clever reveal to Hodor. That was amazing. Oh yeah, everything was great too. And to think we still have 5 more episodes of this. 5 more! If they stop Bran's storyline right here and do not show him for any of the rest of the season, I'm gonna be pissed. Regardless, good or bad, I think I've built up enough resilience that if we have to see the Sand Snakes again next week, which I feel like we will, I feel like I can stomach it. No matter what, if Bran's storyline is gonna continue into next week even, then I feel like it's gonna be good. We'll see how it goes, guys. Thanks for watching. This has been another Echo Review. My name is Matt, and I am signing out.